seems the rift between Israel and the U.S. over what will happen after the war in Gaza is over is only deepening. And it's hard to predict what the U.S. can and will do to try to convince Prime Minister Netanyahu and his far-right cabinet of that the most optimal solution would be a two-state solution to the conflict. President Biden made his strongest criticism of Netanyahu, saying that Israel risks losing support if it doesn't back a two-state solution. He even went on to say that some of Israel's military campaign in the Gaza Strip have been indiscriminate. He also said that Netanyahu needs to change course for the sake of his country and for the sake of the progress that Israel has made on the normalization front with Arab countries. Netanyahu, in a tweet last night, recognized that difference and said he won't allow Israel to make the same mistakes that it did during the Oslo Accords, which is, of course, a U.S. brokered agreement in the early 90s, which allowed for a limited Palestinian self-rule in Gaza and the West Bank. While Biden is also saying, warning kind of Israel not to repeat the U.S.'s mistakes after 9/11. But, apparently the U.S. is not going to stop there. 2 U.S. officials are expected to come to this region this week and the next. We have the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, coming this week to the region and will meet with Israel's war cabinet. And next week, we're going to see Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin coming to the region as well.
OK, and what impact will the UN General Assembly vote demanding a ceasefire actually have on the ground, do we think?
The General Assembly vote just shows and demonstrates what the U.S. president is talking about, is that an international support for Israel is shifting away, as more than 17,000 Palestinians have been reported killed in the Gaza Strip. And it's a non-binding resolution, and it won't have any impact on the ground. It just symbolizes and shows you what the U.S. is talking about. Now, the General Assembly the vote was about 153 countries voting in favor of an immediate ceasefire and a release of hostages. That is compared to 120 countries who voted for a similar resolution back in October. That being said, there is no indication that the U.S. would cut its aid to Israel or reduce its support or unwavering support for Israel at any moment. And we can see that from last week when the U.S. vetoed a UN Security Council resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire.